Hey y'all, it's Uncle BNC coming to you every Tuesday, once again from 8 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. And on this podcast, we break down the ins and outs of relationships in the 21st century because your mom and your dad could not prepare you for this.
Nope.
So, this week, we are going to focus on the fellas. Now, hear me out. Men, you are responsible for women's bad behavior. Find out how coming up.
And thank you for tuning in.
Now, before we get into today's topic, remember to like, subscribe, and get notified. And then leave us comments letting us know what you think about today's topic. So let's get into it. Men, you're responsible for women's bad behavior, okay? Now, I know I done ruffled some feathers here, but let me explain. All right. By now, most of you have heard about the PJ Washington, Brittany Renner situation. So PJ Washington is a 22-year-old basketball player for the Charlotte Hornets. He was drafted at 18 years of age. Brittany Renner is an Instagram model. She's 29 now, but she was with him when he was 18. She was 26. Okay. So allegedly they got married at some point, and then she filed for divorce secretly, like a month or so, 2 weeks or a month after they had their child, right? Okay. So there is a video on her Instagram page, and I actually saw the video in which she actually advises women to have raw sex with an athlete if you want to get the bag, ladies. Okay, she said athletes are dumb. Now, I actually saw that. Everything else is sort of alleged. Even there's supposed to be $200,000 a month in child support that this man is supposedly paying for his son. And supposedly, he also doesn't hardly ever get to see him. There was like some clip of him. I guess he put his son up. One of maybe his friends from the NBA put up a son saying like, something in support of him saying like, hey, that's messed up. My man can't even see his son, right? And he's paying all this money in child support. So here's my thing. Now, what does that have to do with men? Bad behavior in women, right? What does this have to do with that? Let me just explain now. Brittany Renner, if you see a picture of her, obviously she's a beautiful woman. She looks just like all the other Instagram models that a lot of guys are going after, putting the fire emojis and the hearts and all this other stuff, right? Here's the thing. She knows what she looks like. She knows what she brings to the table in terms of that, right? She doesn't really have to bring much else. She just brings that, her looks, right? So guys are going to chase. And this is not specific. The topic is not necessarily specific to her per se or to any other IG model. It's not specific to just these women. This also goes for any woman who is in that category of a woman who she knows her beauty and she knows her power. And men also, they see that and men respond accordingly. And when I say accordingly, a lot of times men chase those women and they go so above and beyond. And a lot of times those women may end up having, a bad attitude or give them some type of an attitude or something, kick them to the left, side eyes, do all these different things. But because she looks so good, they'll still chase her. And here's this. I want to get your opinion about this too, Uncle B, but let me conclude this thing real quick by saying this. Let's think about, I hate to say it like this, but I'm going to just say it for the sake of this show. Let's think about the ugly chick. How many men complain about ugly chicks having a bad attitude? And I'm not saying any specific woman looks like an ugly chick, but whatever is not cute in a man's eyes, and especially if she's not considered the standard look of beauty, those women are usually a lot nicer, and men usually don't get so excited about those. Men don't get that excited about those women, but they get really excited about the Brittany Renners. So the nice girls are usually the ones that don't get all the attention.
Right.
The not so nice girls are the ones that get all the attention. So
Hmm.
there is some kind of pattern here.
Okay. There's a lot to unpack here. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
youngster, I hope none of this stuff is true. I mean, in terms of you having to pay $200,000. That's you've
She's
just
on Khalees
this
status with
this
that one.
this
Khalees and
whole
Nas.
yeah this lady just took advantage of a young man. That's very sad. So
Yeah.
so as far as men looking at women on Instagram or any place, whether it's Ebony Jet back in the day with the magazine, or it's on the stone carving on a wall in the museum with the Jesus picture with boobs hanging out. Yes, we pay attention to women. That's what we do. And yes, if you look, the hotter you look, the better you look, the whatever. First of all, let's clarify something. Clarify something. A lot of times, people mistake beauty, and there's also health. There's a health element to it. So there's a lot of beautiful women who just look unhealthy. So you also, it's like, yeah. So you see something that you want. All your ancestors have done the exact same thing. That's literally what you're here for. You're not here for a job. You're not here to play basketball. You're here to have sex and have children and procreate. So we're doing what we're supposed to do in terms of paying attention to women. And what did she do? The exact same thing that women do, which is like, hey, I know my beauty. Therefore, did she go for the best looking dude or the dude with the most money? She went to with the dude with the most money that she could get the money from. So it's on both
Stability.
sides. Hmm? Yeah,
Stability.
yeah. So she knows her pretty privilege, and he knows that basically the reason
That
why
he can get a pretty.
yeah, because he has a lot of money. That's the way this works. She's pretty, he's got money. This is just proving itself just the way that it is. So a lot of guys, just like a lot of women, will go after a man who has money. A lot of guys will go after a woman who looks pretty. Same thing. That's the way we're supposed to function. So in no ways, I think just guys looking at women, that's going to keep happening. It's supposed to keep happening. The issue though is actually this topic, which is that in the manosphere, the big thing that men are always saying is that women are not taking accountability. You can't hold them accountable for anything. And it has gone overboard. I mean, to the point that you can't, it's like if you're going to blame, in order to blame somebody, you have to, a couple of things have to happen. One, the person has to accept it. And then two, do something about it. Well, here's the problem. The thing that men are supposed to do for women, so we won't, you're blaming us. So what are we supposed to do? We've already done it, which is like, tell you, you're doing this and this is not cool.
That's where we gonna disagree, because this is the thing. Now, this is the reason for the topic, and this is the reason why this all comes up, because a lot of times, and it could just be that, with you being a man, you may not see necessarily the things that happen on the woman's side, especially a woman that gets a lot of attention. A lot of times men act thirsty.
Yes.
And when a man is, no, but hear me out. A lot of times when a man is acting thirsty, he's acting thirsty and horny. Being a thirsty, horny man, and I can already hear what you're thinking, but being a thirsty, horny man is a real big turnoff for a lot of women, especially if this is something that consistently happens. And what I mean by that is, I'm not just saying that, okay, a man could see a woman, think she's beautiful, and in his mind he's lusting after her, but he still treat her like a regular human being on the street, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have the men who are thinking nasty thoughts in his mind, and now he's like when he's talking to her. And there are a lot of guys who actually give off that same type of energy with women when they think they're beautiful. They do things that are completely out of character. And a lot of times, really, go ahead.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
So, like I said, that part's not going to change because it's not supposed to change. It's like, yes, you're pretty. You were supposed to, compete to see who can get her. What is the way that we compete for women nowadays? Used to be, biggest cave or biggest tree. Now it's the most money. So every guy has done what he's done in terms of, there's a beautiful woman, let me go ahead and shoot my shot. No, got shot down, whatever. It was like lusting after. We lust after a whole bunch of women it doesn't necessarily mean that, we can do anything about it. So yeah, we're lusting after whatever, having a conversation, no, shoot my shot, ain't work. But it's like, so this guy is doing something abnormally different. It's like going up to a woman and talking to her, trying to, no lusting, thirsty. She did something abnormal to all the other men who were coming up to her and who were thirsty. She went thirsty over a dude with money. She acted abnormally in terms of having a baby, knowing that, oh my God.
No, what happened?
Reinstall the battery, my power, something
They
is
did
weird.
not like what you're saying.
There we go. I got something for them. I got something for that. You ain't
Turn the camera off and on again and reinstall it.
oh my God.
Can you
No.
still talk?
Yep.
Oh.
There we
Okay, there you go.
go. So yeah, I was ready for
saying
it.
the wrong things.
Yeah, I was ready for him. But no, I mean, it's like, yeah, she changed the way that she acted toward everybody else, got extra thirsty for it, and was already stated her thirst. So she was going after the dude with the most money, and she got him.
Okay, so get this
She
right.
played the game.
So get this right. This is why I said I'm using that as an example, but that is not really this whole subject is not specifically about them. This is just showing how sometimes it can play out. So PJ did not necessarily go after a nice girl or a good girl. He went after the most beautiful girl, but she had a video in which allegedly she had already made certain comments about all the different types of celebrities that she slept with and how they're all dumb. Allegedly, she made this video before he busted in her and she had a baby. Do you think that that would have been possible had she not been cute? Now, this is the thing, and I want you to hear me out when I say this. A lot of times when a woman is not so attractive to a man, men usually take a little bit more time to get to know the woman, right? So they're not doing all of that. They're more like, hey, they're talking to her, asking questions, like regular questions, getting to know her because they like her, because she's nice to them. They're just giving her the opportunity while they're in her presence. And then they end up coming to find that they actually like her. But sometimes with the pretty women, the guy he's so thirsty to have sex with her. This is the reason why I said he acts out of character. He's so thirsty to have sex with her that every single move he makes, everything that he does is driven and motivated by wanting to have sex with her. But that is a turnoff for a lot of women. I get what you're saying, that might be the male nature, but guess what? As men get older, and I know he was young, somebody should have told him because he was playing a big boy game, but as you get older, you are supposed to mature, or you have to learn from somebody and understand how to keep that stuff contained. I remember back in the day when I would when I was dating guys, like I'm just saying in the 90s, because that's the last time I think I remember guys like really kind of, doing the whole gentleman thing or whatever. Like I remember a guy they might be lusting and thirsting after you, and you could kind of tell because they liked you a lot. But they still talked to you, had regular conversations, and you felt like a human being. There is nothing worse for a woman than for a man to be talking to her, asking inappropriate questions and doing inappropriate things, and then expecting for her to somehow treat him like he's a human being when he's not treating her like one, because he's totally motivated by the other head.
Oh God.
Go ahead.
This is so wrong. All of this is so wrong. Because it's
How
like,
is it wrong?
Okay. I mean, the thing is, the overarching thing about this is that two things. One, that pretty women tend to, because men who are attracted to them try to meet her, they're socially awkward. Now it's because of that, she's evil and goes out and does something. This was just an evil person who's pretty. That was just wrong what she did.
You keep focusing on her.
I know I'm focusing on her, but it's just showing the exact same thing. Everything you're saying, a woman will get thirsty. Go to after a rap concert.
Wasn't right.
Yeah. After a rap show, go to the hotel where the big star is, and there are lines of women who are waiting in the hallway.
Hmm.
He was like, one woman comes out of this superstar's
Those women
bedroom.
deserve to get every bit of the treatment that they get because they are standing there in line throwing
What
themselves
I'm
in the
saying the
fire.
exact same thing happens. That's the opposite side of it. So yes, we were showing an extreme, but for most men, it's like, yeah, most people are average. It's like, it's not like there's all these mega beautiful women who that's the reason why it's so popular on Instagram. It's like, yeah, oh, there, she's really beautiful. Yes. In real life, most guys end up
It
with,
doesn't have to be about the mega beautiful women. It could just be a woman
yeah,
that any man regards as a woman that he wants. Listen, let's take even the facial looks out of it.
okay.
Sometimes guys just see women with the biggest ass on the planet, and that's all that they're really attracted to is that big booty. Those guys will lust after her the same way. She might not even be that attractive, but she will act like she's attractive because she's got so many guys throwing themselves at her. So how, as a woman, if you have a bunch of dudes throwing themselves at you and treating you like a piece of steak and not talking to you like you're a human, how is that woman supposed to interact with this man like he's a human? How does that work?
So
You can't do it.
So I'm getting lost here. So basically, because a dude was like, "Hey, he's no longer human. He's not treating her like she's human. What is he doing to her? Is he like putting A1 side? He's treating her like a steak? What is she doing?"
See, this is
But
why
I
I
mean,
said you don't have the experience of dealing with that type of stuff as a man, but I'm telling you that this other men are doing those things. You may not do it, but other men do it. Men will literally be lusting after a woman to the point where when they are talking to her, she is not a human being. She is a thing. How do you interact with a person that is talking to you like you are a thing?
okay, I mean, one.
And
Okay, one, you don't interact with them. I mean, I assume that's the reason why. Yeah, they get approached by a whole bunch of different guys, and they choose one when they feel like, but this one, no, he's looking at me like a steak. I guess that's the simple answer. It's like, but are you?
but that's what I'm talking about.
But
That guy.
here's the thing: all guys don't. It's like, yes, if a woman is there, it's like if you think a person is attractive, you think they're attractive. I've heard this same thing from women who come across a guy and it was like, oh my God, he's just so blah, 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 literally the throwing of the panties. It happens. I mean, I get it that for women, you're getting it a lot, but it's like, how is that, when you say that's something to blame on men, it's like, yeah, a lot of dudes are socially awkward, don't know how to talk to a woman right, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When it's like, after that, it's like, well, what are other men going to do about it? How are we going to?
This is how I see this whole thing, right? When men are treating women like objects, a lot of times, and this is the reason why I'm even talking about it too, a lot of times they're the ones out there complaining about the nasty attitudes. We talked earlier and I was telling you, I have a friend that said a lot of women are just bad human beings with pussies. That's literally what he said. Now, there's all kind of other terms and ways that men have described women. I'm not saying that all women are good women. There's plenty of terrible women, just like there's plenty of terrible men.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, I'm fair. There's terrible in all races, in all ages, and in every gender. There's terrible. There's good in all of that. But what I'm saying is, this is a perspective that never ever gets explored. And that's the reason why I think it's important to bring it up, because a lot of people just don't seem to hear or think about it. A lot of times when men are being thirsty and they are chasing women, and I know I keep repeating myself, but when they're treating a woman a certain way, I feel like if a woman has an attitude because she doesn't like how the guy is acting with her, sometimes those are the same guys that would be like, ugh, she got a bad attitude. Da, 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 da. She's just responding accordingly. I'm not saying in every case, because there's a lot of women that are nasty to men when all they have to do, if the guy is saying hello, all you have to do is say hello back and then let them know you got to keep it moving. I personally have done that for years. I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I got a meeting I got to go to. I always got a meeting to go to. So there's ways to get around that. But what I'm saying is sometimes when women are being hounded by a man, and I'm going to just give you a scenario that is just an everyday regular scenario. A woman could be walking down the street. A guy's like, "Oh, excuse me, miss. No, I just wanted to tell you have a nice dress." "Oh, okay, thank you." "Oh, yeah. Do you know the time?" "Oh, it's 10:30." "Okay, can I talk to you for a minute?" "I'm sorry, I have to go." "Wait, just be a second of your time." "I'm sorry, I really have to go." Wait. Like that, when a woman is consistently getting that, and I'm not necessarily saying that particular thing is the thirst bucket thing, because how else can he talk to the woman unless he does approach her? But if the woman is saying, "I gotta go," she pretty much has to leave. I mean, if she wanted to talk to you, she gonna sit there and all in your face as soon as you
Okay.
call her. So
So
what I'm
base.
saying is that with men, a lot of times, I think that it's important for men to note sometimes and just be mindful of how they are. And if a woman has a bad attitude, you don't have to stick around and deal with it, because some men do that too. They stick around and they deal with bad behavior, and I
Mhm.
feel like they're rewarding it. You're
Well,
rewarding bad behavior.
I guess the thing for me is that um this gets into a this gets into a lot of levels of complication, because it's like you're that for the average person though. The average means the bell curve. Everybody's sitting right there in the
Right.
freaking middle. It's way more average people than are like beautiful people. It's like way more average people than rich people. So the example you're getting is like, unless you get ugly but got a big ass or something like that, got you. Whatever attraction. Doesn't just say attraction. Whatever a good majority of men are attracted to. So you have guys who are average with no game coming up trying to kick it with this, sort of rare person. It is the same as a guy who's like, well, I have a lot of money, but I can't find a good woman because all the women that come around me are after my money. Just like women say, all the men who come around me are after my ass, or after having sex, or just want, just they keep coming. Though that is just the way things are. But for people in the middle, it's like the rest of us are sitting here like, okay, you have average women who are like, I don't want to smile. I don't, it's like when we're saying that the blame is coming this way, it's like you're blaming men. It's like, well,
Well, I'm not
what can
saying
we do about it?
100% of all
Oh
men.
yeah. I know that. I
I
know
would
that. But
never
what
say
I'm saying,
100%.
what can we do? What? I mean, we have laws. The only thing left is laws. I mean, it's like social norms and everything like that have been going down the drain because, and let's also point this out. This is happening during the sexual freeing of women. So, stripper poles on national, international shows for awards and shit. I mean, it's like, yes, you're free. Well, this is what happens with freedom. It's like, yeah, your responsibility level goes up. So it's like, yeah, she's on Instagram. She knows she looks good. She knows she can get attention and money for her looks. This is a grown woman. She knows what she's doing. She's putting herself out there. So if she gets, it's like you're saying, you can't really use Instagram models because it's sort of rare that you're such an
Right.
Instagram model that you can do all this stuff. The average woman is not on
I'm
Instagram.
going to tell you what guys can do.
So
The thing that guys can do, and actually the other category that I didn't really get into, were the guys that are already dealing with a woman, but then she starts acting up. And
yeah.
when a guy's dealing with a woman and when I say acting up, I mean she can be acting up for any number of reasons. But if she is slowly starting to become mean or nasty or rude, sometimes guys think they have to stick around and be in that same situation with that woman, and they just don't know how to leave. But they'll sit there and complain and talk about how terrible she is, but she'll just continue to be terrible while you're rewarding her bad behavior. And what I would suggest is leave.
Okay. Well, let's dive into that real quick. So, yeah, the is typically, here's the interesting thing about that thought process. I mean, once again, it goes for the other side too. You often hear like, well, women will say like, yeah, you got these men who make a whole bunch of money and they're mean, they're never home, they're blah blah blah, they're just all this thing. So it goes both ways.
And I say the same thing.
Yeah, leave. But here's the interesting thing though, is that as when you're attracted to someone, and they're beautiful and everything, it's like you think this is the best I could possibly do, and they probably let you know this is the best you could possibly do. Then like, well, yeah, you're like, oh, I'll take it, because in order to probably this person wants to be in control, and so they were looking for somebody who's weak, and so you got your simp there who's going to sit there and take it. The interesting thing is though, as you get older, because this came up in a group online Facebook group, and they were basically saying, okay, they showed a picture of a beautiful woman, got the look, got the booty, got everything going on. It's like she has a bad attitude. Would you date her? Now this group is of men 40 and over. think 35
Mm-hmm.
plus. Yeah. And it was, well, men and women, 35, but mostly women in there, but a lot of men. And all the guys came back. Nope, nope, bad attitude. Nope, nope. Put in that, and the women were like, no, no, you still do it. You still do it. It's like even the guys who was like, oh yeah, I'd hit it, then I'd leave because of the attitude. So it's like, what?
Wait, I'm gonna stop you right there because
Mhm.
that is another point. That's another point. I hear this now. I have actually I brought this up to a couple of my guy friends, the topic that we're discussing now. And they're kind of like in the similar have the similar type of energy that you have about it. Like, how was it our fault? Because technically it's not your fault. We're all responsible for our behavior.
Mhm.
Now I'm saying it for effect because
Mhm.
it is, in a sense, it's just a way for me to call attention to the fact that you do have some power in the situation. I think sometimes men feel like they're powerless in a situation where, oh, women are acting like this, they're just going to keep acting like this. But you keep entertaining somebody that gives bad behavior, you're gonna keep getting the same back. It's the same way that a lot of times men will talk about women for being with a thug, and she's complaining, oh, he's treating me bad, slapping me around. What did you think he was gonna do? Treat you
Mhm.
nice and put you on a pedestal?
Mhm. Mhm.
That was
Yeah.
your choice.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
that's
So
what I'm saying.
I mean, and I think that's the part that should be kept real. It's like, yeah, this is too. Is men can't take the blame for this because one thing what we're talking about is something that's sort of rare. The reason why it's rare, beautiful women are rare because they're rare. So it's not a lot of them. So we have a whole bunch of people who are in the average who are taking. It's like, why are we paying attention to these people? The people over here, well, we have women who are average who have this attitude of like, oh, you can't talk to me. I've met women like
Because
that.
the men are chasing them for some reason, like you just said earlier.
Be-
When the men are chasing a woman because they're trying to have sex with her, here's the thing, and I'm
Why
gonna
do
tell you
women? Why
this.
do women? Why do women chase men? Is it not because of sex? I know it's
Why do
utility. It's
women chase men?
yeah.
What,
It's
for money? Because they got some money or they got something that
oh, I
will
mean the vast
materially?
majority of women want a man who's tall. The
That's
vast
true.
majority. Yeah, yeah. Is vast majority of women want a man who has a six pack.
Okay, true.
So yeah, that's
People have wants. But
huh?
yes, people have wants. This is true.
Yeah.
But
So
the
it's like,
point
oh,
but the point I'm making is that when a man is chasing a woman, even an average woman, if the man is consistently chasing this average woman and she's giving him some type of attitude, if he's still consistently chasing her because he just wants to have sex with her and then get rid of her, here's the problem and this is really a problem, I think, just I'm gonna say in our community especially, is that a lot of women don't have the training to recognize the difference between a man who just wants to have sex and a man who actually wants to be with her. Because a lot of men can fool a woman into thinking he's really interested by taking all of the abuse from her until he gets it. He'll take the abuse, he'll tell her she's still beautiful, he'll tell her everything she wants to hear or agree with everything she says. In her mind, she's holding that as true. And because she's doing that, all of a sudden the guy turns around, he has sex with her, and when he does decide to leave, she's like, oh, well, he's a dog, or he's this, or he's that. And then you have women who now feel like, oh, men are this and men are that. I mean,
I'll take
I
that.
can't say that men, like, it's unrealistic to expect for men to
Absolutely.
tell a woman, oh, I'm chasing you like this because I just want to have sex with you and not because of your wonderful attitude. And that's all I want to do is get rid of you afterwards. But I'm just saying that
Well,
this is a problem.
yeah, I mean, it goes to like I always say, we don't have classes or courses on relationships so people can understand each other. And so, yeah, I think one of the pieces for that situation, if we have people who have, relationship understanding how to approach women, we have no courses in that, classes in that. So it's like, where are you learning this from? And so you have some guys who are just way more aggressive than other guys. You have some women who are way more aggressive than other women. I mean, but the thing that I want to say though is like a lot of times it's like the sex side of things just gets pushed over to the men's realm, and it's like, well, women want sex too. So that's the reason why you holler at if you're sitting there hollering at a whole bunch of women, and one of them says, you know what, I like his blah 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 blah. He's not relationship material, but I have sex with him. Does that happen? Yeah, of course it happens. So it's like it's on both sides. So it's something that we haven't learned. It's not something like, you blame us. It's like, well, we don't know what to do about it either because we haven't had the courses. So how am I going to turn around? Hey, brother, that's not the way you talk to a woman. Let me show you how to talk.
Okay.
She's like, you boring. So
Okay, but so what you're basically telling me is that it's okay to just stick around and get abused.
No, it's not okay. I mean, that's something that you're going to learn, because if someone told you this in a class, you'd know this. But if you haven't done it, that's the reason why all these men at an older age were like, yes, when I was young, homegirl, like body, boom, 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 boom. I'm not worried about her attitude. I'm trying to be with her, worry that out. Yo, as we get older, that testosterone goes down. It's like, she gonna be like, hey, already had 3 girlfriends, an ex-wife, all types of different women.
They're doing the same thing that guys talk about women, saying, oh, she got, all these kids and she doesn't have or she either was married or she was never married. And all of a sudden now she's supposed to be low value because of that. But men are doing this. I mean, we're both doing on both sides, the same exact things are happening. All I'm saying is, if a woman is having has a bad attitude and a woman is mistreating a man, he knows it, because this is the reason why I hear men telling me, why do women have bad attitudes, or asking why do women have bad attitudes.
Hold on. When we're talking, this one thing to talk about relationships, that's somebody It's also when we say women have bad attitudes, there are women who have bad attitudes. Obviously not at all, but it's a seemingly growing number of women who have bad attitudes, to the point that's like, well, okay, yeah, I would like to stay in this relationship with her. She got the nice body. I'm all attracted to that. But it's like, what am I going to do with this attitude? I can't keep carrying this. It becomes stressful for men. So if you have, however these women have bad attitudes, well, we can't go into their past and fix it. So they're going to have to get the therapy, whatever it takes.
But this is why I'm saying that it's a problem too, because a lot of times, and I'm gonna tell you that this is just real shit right here. Women sometimes have bad attitudes because when they're younger, and they don't have those bad attitudes because they're young, they're fresh, they're in the world, everything is new. They got guys that are acting like the guys that I'm saying. And they're just using them left and right. Now, let's put this in a different perspective here. I get that men are men and men are horny, but in a lot of cultures, and it's unfortunate, we don't have a culture that that is ours really, or I would say a positive one. But unfortunately, like in a lot of cultures, women are not treated like they're just disposable, somebody to have sex with and dispose of. A lot of young women, they get treated as if they are these beautiful objects that are easily disposed of. That creates something in their mind, in their psyche. All of a sudden now it's like, oh, I have to wisen up, and you're not going to do this to me, and this ain't going to happen again, and da-da-da-da. So once a woman gets to that point, sometimes she does have a bad attitude. But then I think it's also incumbent on the man that is with her. And I'm not saying it's his fault in this case, but I'm saying a man sometimes needs to let her know something. And that is me saying there are equal sides where there is a fault. Because if a woman has a bad attitude, clearly I'm saying that the woman has a bad attitude, which is not a good thing. So I'm not saying a man has a bad attitude. I'm saying a woman has a bad attitude. However, if a man is planning to be in her life, I think that it will be incumbent on him to help her to see that by not just sitting there, oh, she got a bad attitude, I'm just going to walk out the door, pretend like it's not there, and then I'll come back once the storm has blown over.
Okay. Well, once again, me coming into a relationship, because I've done this, coming to a relationship, yes, she looks cute. Yep, that's the reason why I'm here. In the relationship, and oh my God, it gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. I wasn't used to being verbally abused. I didn't know that I was even being verbally abused. She was just yelling at me. But when you're talking about, once again, we're talking about relationships. It's when you're saying that, okay, it's men's fault. We can't do anything about it, because the things that we can do stuff about, You're not listening to us. We're saying,
You can
hey,
do something.
hold on, no. Listen what I'm saying. When women, not in relationship with you, but when you talk to women and you ask a good number of black women, I've heard this several times. I don't think I need to smile. Okay, a couple of things. If a person's asking you to smile, well, they're being sort of selfish because it's like, well, if you smile, that'll make me feel better too. Because I know I feel better when I smile. So why don't you smile? Hey, why don't you smile? And it's like, oh, let me take this. Somebody asked me to smile. I'm gonna take it into. I don't have to smile because this happened in the past. Now, am I going to keep going to? It's like, hey, this is a person worth. She's negative. This is a turn on. Let me talk some more. No, she just told me to go away. So as men, we've already said, hey, you're going to have to do the work of like, hey, something happened to you. I can't control. I'm not in control of.
But that's not why women say that. When women are saying that, it's because so many men are telling them to smile. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just correcting that because you're talking about something from the past, like, oh, you need therapy. It's not a therapy situation. Most of the time when women say they don't want to smile, it's just because a lot of men are saying it.
Okay. But you see how this isn't going to work. It just isn't going to work. Because what we're saying for you to do to help the situation, that's what I said in the beginning. When you blame somebody, they have to do something. It's like, well, the thing that I have to do is become more attracted to you so I'll get to you and stay in a relationship with you. But you're negative. So why would I stay in a relationship with a person or start out in a relationship with who's negative? So yes.
Bingo.
What's bingo? We're going to leave.
Means that's what I've been saying. If you can't talk to the woman, I'm saying this because you're speaking as if you're speaking about all men, and you're not speaking about all men because all men don't think like you.
To smile.
And we're not talking about smiling. We're talking about anything that is an innocent enough thing.
Okay. All right. Well, how about this one? You asked us what needs to be done. I'm assuming what needs to be done so we can have better relationships. And it's like, well, women, you're saying women are basically sort of blaming men for us not having great relationships because they don't know how to approach, don't know how to be nice, things like that. Okay. So
no, that's not what I said.
Okay.
I said it's men's fault, but the reason why, so you're not hearing what I'm saying correctly because I feel like you're internalizing it a different way. I said that it's men's fault, not to mean it is truly your fault that a woman is not in control of her own emotions, but I'm saying it as a way for a man to see a different perspective. If you are speaking to a woman and you are being polite and respectful to her and she has a nasty attitude, keep it moving, case closed.
Yes,
done deal.
Yes.
Done. Okay,
we agree on that.
Yes. Talk about.
Yes, absolutely.
However, every man is not Brian, Uncle B.
Yeah.
Every man is not you.
Let me say this. Let me say this. We figure it out. Like I said, I mentioned that poll about you having a bad attitude, but you look beautiful. We figure it out. We didn't have the lesson growing up. Our parents didn't tell us. We figure I would rather not fuck that and just have a happier life. We figure that out. So that, when you're younger, of course, this stuff is going to happen. But what I am saying is when you're saying blaming men, once again, it's like, what can we do to help the situation? And a lot of it is that you've mentioned it, women are being attracted by the wrong guys. Things are happening to them. If that has happened to you, then you have to get that fixed. It's not something that we can do because I'm not a psychiatrist. I can't. What you just said, the man that she's with, she had a bad attitude because the person that she was with before. I'm not a psychiatrist.
Example.
Yeah. I mean, but I understand exactly what you're saying. There's many examples, but it still comes down to I am not a psychiatrist. So the only thing, literally.
Nor are you expected to be.
So how do we?
My point. My point is, all I'm saying is that men should be aware of their own actions. That's all I'm saying. And a man's actions. If a man is being thirsty, maybe it's not Uncle B, but we have some other man.
We have too many. I'm not internalizing it. I'm saying for a lot of men. I've talked with a lot of men. I grew up with a lot of men, so I know this.
To a lot of men too.
So
and a lot of times, some men, I'm not going to say all of them, some men chase women ferociously to the point where it's almost like you said earlier, like you took abuse and you didn't realize you were taking abuse. I have spoken with a lot of men who have done and done and done, and they've gone
What
overboard
were they
for a
doing?
woman.
What were they doing?
The woman could be having an attitude with them about anything. Let's just take an example. Maybe they went to a restaurant and she complained the whole time. He
Mhm.
paid the bill and then he still offered to take her out again. If I were a man and I'm offering to take you out on a date to a restaurant, you're complaining the whole time and you have a really nasty attitude with me or with the waitress or waiter or whoever. I mean,
One quick question. We need to age, because I think we sort of had this part. Is age appropriate? So I'd say roughly at 35, that's when men start figuring out that no, I don't want to deal with this. So yes, if she has an attitude, there isn't too much we can do about it. At that moment, we can just, like you said, we can leave. We finally figured that part out. By that time, she's out of the dating market. You know, it was like, oh, well, he's 35 and, you know, well, no, she's not out of the dating market. I'm just saying that, you know, by the time guys are like, we figure it out, it's like, well, yeah, we've done our damage of being overwhelmed with the attractiveness over reason.
right.
And then it comes
now
back.
you're ready for something good. Just like the women that have gotten the thugs and now they're ready for something good. I totally get where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, so we have
But
to
what
fix
I'm
our.
saying is-
So you're saying we have to
but
fix
sometimes
ourselves.
No, but then I'm saying that sometimes guys will have this attitude that, oh, it's women that are just terrible people. So how the same way that you hear me blaming men, even though that's the name of the show, but the same way that you hear me blaming men, and technically a woman is responsible for her own behavior, that's
Yes.
exactly what men do to women when they're like, oh, women have a bad attitude. But guess what? You're hanging around for it. And now you're becoming bruised and battered from it. And now you don't like women because all of a sudden, every woman is a bitch.
Well, okay. When I said the bad
I noticed
attitude,
it from a lot of guys.
remember earlier when I said the bad attitude, beautiful women are rare. That's the reason why it's beautiful. It's not average. Average women have the same attitude as beautiful women. It's like, hey, however men are approaching you, and they're not thirsting after you. They just want to get to know you. It's like, yes, it's going to take a little while. You're not Beyonce. I just turned around like, oh my God, I'm just going to follow you on my hands and knees. It's like you're an average person. Like, yeah, oh, okay, I'm average too. That's the reason why I'm with you.
You should be okay with getting treated the way you get as a man. That's all I'm saying. Because I hear men complaining. What I'm saying is I hear men complaining about women being the way that they are. So the same way that it's in a man's nature to chase beautiful women, it's in a woman's nature also. If she's getting that many people, that many requests, it's human nature, I should say,
Right,
for her
right.
to be the way that she is, to respond the way she does. If she responds the way she does,
Well, it's okay. I mean, because this once again, that's the reason why I say it has to be an education. Because we're doing the circular fire squad because it's like, once again, if you're saying that men are
this
playing,
is all cyclical.
Yeah,
We gotta get up out of here because we just gonna keep this thing. This
Yes,
thing
we
is
are.
gonna keep going
that's
forever and ever.
all the way up to women listen
But
to men.
listen, we need you guys to chime in, okay? We need y'all to chime in and let us know, what do you think about these points, okay? Like, what do you think about Uncle B's point that, what do you want us to do? How are we responsible? You guys are in control of your own, attitudes.
Yes,
We're
indeed.
doing what we do as men.
Mhm.
And I get that. I'm not dumb. I get it.
Mhm.
However, at the same time, all I'm saying is, hey, you get what you get. Don't complain. I'm just saying. So,
Okay.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? Do you
Mhm.
agree with Uncle B? Do you agree with me? Are there points that you can pull out from either side? Let us know something in
we
the
gotta talk about
comments.
this one. Oh yeah, come on, comments. Let's know.
Leave
Let's know.
us some comments, please.
Mhm.
Because we need to get some feedback.
Yep.
But
There you go.
anyway, again, Uncle B and Fee,
Yes, indeed.
back at it
We will see you, kids, next time.
next Tuesday. And
8 p.m.
remember to subscribe to our channel, and please like this video if you like what you heard,
Thumbs up on that.
or even if you didn't like it, if you hated it, still like it.
Yeah, dude.
All right, y'all. Next time.
Deuces.